Strictly music, only music and nothing else. And today I have a rather interesting point that I want to go ahead and bring to you guys so we can go ahead and have a intellectual back and forth like we tend to do. Now, I know there's a lot of albums out right now, and we are going to make sure that those get covered. If you haven't checked out the last video for Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator, go check that out because I like that album a lot. So go see what I have to say about that. Also get in the comments and let me know what you have to say about that. But as of right now, I'm going to talk about the problem, quote unquote, the problem. Now, I did the problem with drill music, that did very well. I also did the problem with J. Cole, so go ahead and check those two videos out if you haven't seen or heard those rather either. Now, today I'm going to get into a pretty lengthy one, but it does tie into each other. I know it might sound convoluted in the title, but stick around and it's going to make a lot of sense, and it's going to make a lot of sense very fast. Now, today I'm going to be talking about the problem with streaming, DSPs, social media, and modern music. Now, I don't know if it should be streaming, DSPs, social media in modern music and modern music. So all of my students of academia, my grammatical scholars, get in the comments and let me know if I worded that right. But it's all going to tie in. It sounds convoluted, but trust me, it all ties in. Now, what do I mean when I say what is the problem with streaming, DSPs, social media, and modern music? I don't mean what is the problem with each of these things individually. I mean, what is the problem with the first three things in relation to the last thing? So what is the problem with streaming, DSPs, which is digital streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, things like that, and social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, so on and so forth? The problem is simple, and it may be a term that you've heard before, and if you haven't heard before, you will quickly become familiar with this term throughout the course of this video. That lengthy title and that lengthy question, that is the title rather, the answer is two words: microwavable music. The problem with streaming, DSPs, and social media in relation to modern music is microwavable music. We have a dis-ease settling in on the culture of music due to the dopamine-filled fast track that these DSPs, social media platforms, and streaming platforms created. Now, you may say, Strictly Music, how is that the case? We have more access to music now at our fingertips than we've ever had in our lives. How is this a bad thing? Every day you go on TikTok, you discover a new artist, you discover a new song. I agree. But are you guys familiar with the microwave? I'm sure we all are. That golden box in the kitchen that heats your food up in maybe a minute, gets it smoking hot so you're ready to eat. Heat your coffee up before work so you could just run outside and not have to worry about anything. Or when the kids are bouncing around, maybe you throw some nuggets in there just to get them hot enough for them to sit down and just watch TV. That's what these streaming DSPs and social media platforms are doing to modern music. It's making it extremely microwavable. And who doesn't love a microwave? I know I certainly do. You may not believe me when I say I favor the oven, but I do. But I won't discredit the contribution of a microwave in anyone's household, including my own. What is microwavable music? And why do those three things contribute to that? Microwavable music is fast track music. You go on TikTok, you go on these social medias, you hear a song, you hear a clip, Maybe it's a minute, maybe it's 45 seconds, maybe it's 30 flat. You look for the song, you enjoy the song, but where is it in a month or two from now? Where is it a year from now? Does anyone know where those French fries you microwaved, what became of those? Did you guys eat them? Did you eat some of them and throw them out? When you think of a home-cooked meal, you don't really think of the microwave. When you think of the early 2000s and you think of the 90s and the mid-80s, and we can go on and on and on and on, we don't really think of the microwave, do we? But all of these points correlate. The social media allows for the DSPs, and the DSPs allow for the streaming platforms. DSPs and streaming platforms are almost synonymous. They're not, so I did label them differently, but they're close enough. You go on TikTok, which drives up the streams, and that feeds the DSPs and gets them paid, and then they give the artist whatever portion they feel the artist deserve, usually less than what they make themselves, but that's a different point. Maybe we can make another video and go strictly at the problem with DSPs. Get in the comments and let me know if you want me to rip them a new asshole, because I'll be more than happy to oblige with that. The problem is these things combined, and they create a need for microwavable fast food music, and it also eats away at the creativity of the artist. How creative can you be when you know your first week streams are going to be publicized over every social media platform, regardless of how much time or pride you took in the music? That doesn't mean don't try. But the problem with streaming DSPs and social media and its effects on modern music, is that it creates the need for fast, overly digestible, easily consumable music. It's almost as if sometimes artists chase sound bites instead of genuine songs or full bodies of work. If I could just get this 30-second clip to hit on TikTok, if I could just get this 30-second clip to hit on Instagram, that's all I need. There have been multiple songs that have gone viral, and we only listen to it for a portion of the song, and we disregard the rest. And those same songs are nowhere to be found. Do not make me compile a list of social media artists that are no longer relevant now. I will say this, it does get them paid and it does change their lives and it benefits their lives. Who am I to say that's not a good thing? If you can get a viral song that's going to feed you and your family, fine. But in terms of longevity, we don't see too much of that from the artists that live and die by this standard. Those who came before this standard remain, and those who found a way to rise to prominence without adhering to this standard also survive the storm. But those who live and die by the social media, DSP, and streaming blade, those aren't the top of the list in terms of musical ability and or musical prominence. And this is strictly music, only music, and nothing else. So we're going to talk about strictly music, only, come on. You guys know, and I know, that we are in a microwavable time, a easy bake artist type of generation, and that's fine. I still enjoy some of these songs. Who's to say that I don't? I'll be lying. Who doesn't love the microwave? But if I bring you over to Thanksgiving dinner and everything on that table has been preheated in the microwave or tore out of a plastic package and slapped in the microwave, maybe you don't eat at my house. Why is it that these TikTokable, easily digestible, overly consumable artists can't sell out an arena? They're definitely not going to sell out a stadium. Why can't these artists tour without well, why can't they tour on their own? But why also, when they do try to tour their own, they have to have multiple acts just to sell the tour enough to break even? Is this not a problem? Let me take a sip of my drink here. Microwavable, overly consumable, easily digestible. Microwavable music is a product of Dsp'S, streaming, and social media. It's a three-headed monster that feeds itself, or feeds off of itself. And our music suffers for it. And other artists have spoken out in regards to this. Tyler, the Creator, has spoken out about people not being themselves in order to please the image of social media. Once again, tune into my Tyler, the Creator Chromatopia album review. Shameless plug. Sorry. I never said I wasn't a victim of the system. I said we all got a microwave in our house. I can acknowledge the problem and still be a victim of the problem. I feel like we're all entitled to be victims of a problem. We don't have to be willing participants. I might not be a willing participant. This is the age that we live in. But I can acknowledge the problem. And I can attempt to speak my piece and resolve it and to say, let's bring back music of a higher ilk and echelon, and maybe not go for the 30 to 45 second soundbite. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen that are listening here today. Google how long it takes for something to count as a stream, and Google how many streams it takes to count as a sale, and Google how many sales it takes to really break even. Hamsters on a wheel is what this monster has turned our beloved artist into. And so many of our beloved artists, especially our beloved female artists, are glorified social media influencers. And then when we go to the stadium or the arena, we can see several seats not filled because social media doesn't correlate to real life. And these first week sales that be abysmal saps at the energy of our artists to the point where they no longer want to create. It's a dirty, 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 dirty game. And I'm just here to point it out. Not in an attempt to throw fuel on the fire, but in an attempt to speak my piece on the state of music. Because this is strictly music, only music and nothing else. What do you think? Am I just a crazed individual on the corner shouting the end is near? Or are we in a highly microwavable, easily consumable, overly consumed, easily digestible state of music? And not only do I want you to tell me whether we are or we aren't, I want you to point me to the artists that defy that status quo. I can name a few. Tyler, Kendrick, Cole. I think maybe even Childish, Gambino, Joey. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But equivalent to and or greater than that list of artists that are not a part of that mold, there's a myriad of artists that fall victim to that. And we call it success because, by all standards and metrics, that is what modern success is. But what about the state of the music? Why are there hundreds of songs that were viral on social media that we don't even consider anymore? This social media graveyard is only increasing over time. And we have to find some ground that's not filled with the corpses of songs and or artists that have been left behind and or forgotten by this three-headed monster that we continue to feed. This three-headed monster that has become self-sustaining almost and feeds off of itself. But I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and I'm just here to speak my piece. You let me know whether or not I'm wrong, or just get in the comments and tell me to shut the fuck up. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the opinions. Strictly music, only music, and nothing else. Like, comment, subscribe. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe. I'm grateful for every like. I'm grateful for every comment. I'm grateful for every subscriber. And I'm grateful for every view. And let me know. Also, get in the comments and let me know if you want me to make a video solely about Dsp'S and ripping them a new asshole, because I got all day for that. Strictly music, only music, and nothing else. Like, comment, subscribe, and get at me. I'm here for it all.